So we should be going live here momentarily. It's starting. Okay, according to this, we're live. So
All right.
anyhow, I'm here today with Dave, and I've had him up here one time before, and I think we give it a couple minutes, let some people see that we're live, so some people come in here. But we can go ahead and start talking anytime you'd like, Dave.
Yeah, absolutely. It's been a little while, but yeah. Thanks for having me back on. It's always appreciate it, Bill.
Oh well, I appreciate you being here, Dave. Yeah, TFL topic is really what this is about. It's TFL topics because a lot of people, well, unless they've been around and they're aware of what's going on in society and how corrupt it is and how long this has been going on, so many TFLers don't know when this actually really you started seeing effects in America from TFL. So I figured this was a good discussion.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm kind of getting up here in age myself. I'm going to be turning 49 years old in just a few months, so I've got a little bit of life experience behind me. But but yeah, myself, I started kind of experiencing it in the 80s. But there's no doubt. I believe that this goes back further than that. I'm sure no doubt that men, even in the 70s, had their share of problems.
Yeah. Well, see, that's something I tried to tell people before. This didn't start overnight. This is decades and decades of social engineering, and it was deliberately done. You've got to figure right around the time the feminist movement took off is right around the time they'd already started working on the social engineering for the outcome of today.
Right. Back in the 70s, I was just a young boy, so I was too young to. I had no idea what TFL or anything like that is. My only experience personally with girls in the 70s was, just playing innocently in the neighborhood, riding bikes together, and I had my first crush on a girl when I was 8 years old. Other than that, there wasn't really anything. But you could see that in retrospect, you can see that the social engineering was well underway in the 1970s. You had all these variety of TV shows, all the soap operas, which, as we know, pretty much 100% of the audience with these soap operas is females. And you throw in these other TV shows like Dynasty, The Love Boat, Three's Company, just to name a few. Yeah, they were all pushing that subconscious message, and the programming was pretty much getting started.
Yeah, well, people misunderstand. They don't understand, uh, TV shows, they call them programming, right? Programs. Okay.
Hmm.
Human beings are very much programmable. And it's
Right.
easier to program a human being from the time they are a child than it is when they get older. But people are like computers, okay? They can be programmed. And it's no accident that you call in television shows programs because
Right.
they use these shows for programming you, us, and our subconscious, whether you know it or not. This is what they do. And so, yeah, if you really look hard, you go back into the 70s, you'll see that I would say from the time the feminist movement really took off in the public's eye, your television set was used in the social engineering that's led to TFL was already started then. That's how far back.
Absolutely.
That's how far back this goes.
Yeah. They it is definitely social engineering. They just kind of present it to you as entertainment, but it's like you said, social engineering and propaganda. For sure.
It is. Well, they're not going to present it to you as well. Look, we're going to brainwash you or condition you to change your aspect on life, your belief on life. They're not about to tell you this because that's what brainwashing is. And if somebody said, I'm going to brainwash you, you'd say, no, you're not. Your guards would be up, okay, with that person. And they wouldn't be able to brainwash you because your defense mechanism would be up. But if they
Hmm.
push it, this is for entertainment. and we give you entertainment on television, then we can implement the programming little by little into different sitcoms, different movies, different shows. And in these shows, these actors, the scripts are pre-wrote for these people, these actors, by these people that are using this. And this is how they've slowly worked it into society to begin with. It's through advertisements, through sitcoms, through movies, and then slowly into your school system, no different than gender roles. I mean, you get people who want to think that gender roles is within the DNA, but gender roles isn't biological. It isn't in the DNA. Gender roles is a man-created thing.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely, and you're right on the money there.
And people
Um,
don't understand that. I had this little controversy with Warren. We agreed to disagree, but I'm still going to stick with it because gender roles is a man-created thing. Your natural drive to want to be with your opposite gender, this is in your genes, this is in your DNA, okay? But our behaviors are not in your DNA. Our behaviors are socially engineered. It's programming.
right. Yeah, I mean, you could definitely, even looking back when I was in elementary school, like, you could start to see you know, the kids, especially the girls, their personas starting to kind of, their personalities starting to kind of mold, and they're kind of. I remember back when I was in probably fourth grade, right around there. All the girls in my class, they liked one boy in the class, and that was it. And of course, he was the tallest kid in the class. The blonde hair. They used to call him Ken because he looked like a little Ken doll. And all the other boys were just either just kind of invisible, or some were even kind of ridiculed. And so yeah, I mean, even you can look back on it, and and I can pick up on things, even going back 40 plus years.
Yes.
Yeah.
And it goes back this far. It's what, you try to get this through people's heads, and a lot of people want to think, no, this took off in the 90s or whatever, but they don't realize the social engineering by the people who've created the problem for us, the powers to be. They do it in baby steps. It goes from generation to generation to generation, and it's done in baby steps, and it's not hard for them because they absolutely 100% have control of all forms of media. Okay, whether it's your television set, don't matter what channel you're on, what network you're watching, your radio, you're listening to programming on the radio, your major newspapers and magazines that come out are all controlled by these same people.
Right. And it's only gotten more widespread as time has gone on. I think right now it's just it's just so obvious what they're doing, and it's just really off the hook, not off the charts what they're doing.
Oh,
And the dating scene, yeah, the dating scene is just a complete joke. I mean,
it's a disaster.
I mean,
It's an absolute
yeah.
disaster. People's behaviors, the way people are treating one another, is just
Hmm.
unacceptable. I mean,
Right.
it's really off the chain because it's totally unacceptable. They've got the mindset of people to where it's really become all about their own selves or their immediate
Yeah.
surroundings and nothing else. So it's all me, me,
Right.
me, 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 me. And that's not a gender issue when I say it's all about me, 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 because you can observe this in both genders.
Hmm. Yes. Steve Hoka had a very good live chat going on last night, and he was touching a lot about just how lopsided the dating scene is, and especially online, the online with these dating apps like Tinder, and all the other online dating
Well,
sites like Matched Up, Plenty of
Tender,
Fish.
yeah. Now,
Yeah,
Tender itself, you're talking about if you really look into Tender, you'll find out one of the main people sitting on the board of Tender that controls Tender is Chelsea
Chelsea Clinton.
Clinton. Yes.
Yeah, yeah.
People don't
That doesn't
understand. I
surprise
mean,
me.
it is. I mean, it's just none of this is an accident. You're right. Dating scene of Steve Hoke. I missed Steve Hoke's live stream last night. I didn't know he was going
Yeah,
to have it. I couldn't watch the replay because he didn't put up the replay. So,
Oh, he doesn't have the replay on yet.
no, last time I looked today, it wasn't up. I mean, I seen where he done it,
Oh,
but there
okay.
was no replay on his channel. So,
Yeah, it was a pretty long one. I was up pretty late listening to it, but no, he touched on some pretty good stuff last night.
Steve does a good job. When
Yeah, he
Steve
does.
gets
You know,
into
it's
this, he does a really good job. And Steve talked about the
yeah,
dating scene and how lopsided and corrupt it is. He would be correct. And I can tell you, if it's coming from Steve and it's a dating scene topic, he's spot on.
yeah. No, I can't say enough about Steve. You know, he's done. He's just right on the money. You know, when it comes to all this stuff.
He
But
is. He really is.
yeah, we were talking about getting back to that Tinder thing. You know, I was telling you about a cousin of mine that put up a profile on Tinder, and she was only on there for like 5 weeks, and she had like nearly 500. Like she told me she had like 495 guys message her, and you know, and out of those, she got 495 guys competing for one person, one woman,
Yeah.
and that's just one example. And my you know, and she's about 30. She's in her mid 30s, and she's a fairly attractive girl, you know, and it's just unbelievable how many options these girls have.
Well,
You know, the female.
this is it's actually, the programming when I talked about the ink pen using a polar and ink pen and looking on one side of that ink pen was social engineering programming towards men, and on the other side was towards women, and the men are the ones that come out on the short end of the stick. But what they don't realize is women are actually victims of it. They're not victims of being alone because all the options have been placed on them, so they have all the pick. This is why you can witness what Dave just said, 500 plus choices for one female, okay? But what the women's social engineering programming on the women's side has done is it's also because of vaginas and white knights and simps and social engineering, it's made the woman very toxic, okay?
Hmm.
So the women, if you look at the divorce rate, you look at the breakup rate, you find out that 80 to 85% of all divorces and all breakups are instigated and caused by the female. Not
Right.
not the man, but by the female. That has been
Yeah.
socially engineered that way.
Right. What is the current divorce rate right now? Is it around 60%, something like that,
I
for
I
all
think
married couples? It's
yeah, I think it's a little higher than that now.
Yeah, it's
Divorces
been
don't
kind of.
make it, It's just like it used to be the 80-20 rule, but anymore it probably is like 80-10.
Yeah, I know it's been kind of fluctuating between like anywhere from 55 to on upwards of 65% over the last I don't know, the last 25, 30 years. It's yeah, it's pretty ugly out there.
Yeah, and you're not going to get real statistics. I mean, VVS over there, he was up on Steve's show once. I think I said the name right, but he's done some
Yeah.
really good stuff, and he done a video here, and it was with the survey, and he's talking about the stuff he's talking about. It's all real, but
Yeah, exactly.
the statistics that he's reporting to you has been passed down. Like whether it don't matter whether it's New York Times or where your Huffington Post or where you're getting it from, they're not going to tell you the actual truth.
Right. Yeah, he was VBS. He was on Steve's show last night, by the way. But yeah, I've catched a couple of his videos, and yeah, he's got some pretty good stuff over there.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind getting VBS over here to come live on here. Don't know that he will, but I wouldn't mind it. The guy's very intelligent. He's aware of
Yeah,
the
he's a
dating
young guy.
scene topics. He does some good. He's got a lot of good stuff to say.
Yeah, and he's a young guy too. Is he about 20 years old?
Yeah, I do believe he's only 20 or 21 years old. So, and to
Uh,
be as aware as he is in the dating scene at his age is, to me, that's very impressive. Okay,
oh yeah, absolutely.
and I've watched some of his stuff. He's really good. He's really intelligent. I like this man. He's intelligent for a young man. He's intelligent and he has his stuff together. He knows what he's talking about.
Yeah, he is. He's very wise beyond his years. You know.
Yes, he is. But some of the
Hmm.
stuff that I've talked about, even with Warren, is I think, this is just, well, I don't know if you want to call it a theory, but I think if you actually really look in society, it seems to me that the people that are really awake, okay, seem to be more TFLers than anything else, because when you look at the reality is when you're living TFL, you have nothing else.
Yeah,
You have
that's
yourself
what
and
that's
your
when it
job
really
and
moves.
nothing else. And so
Right,
you look into things because of this and you become aware of what's going on around you. Where a person who has somebody in their life and goes on with their life and has all this stuff tends to get into their job, get into their family or their woman or their children, and does not pay attention to really what's going on around them in society.
right. They think that just because if they have something that it's like it doesn't exist in their world. If they're not experiencing it personally. And it's like you said, if you got to the ones who are aware and awake to what's going on are the ones that are um, dealing with this problem.
Yes, exactly.
Mm.
And unfortunately, as much as people don't like to admit it, but it's true. If you could get a real number on TFLers globally, it'd be in the millions.
Oh yeah, easily.
There's not a doubt about it. It would literally be in the millions.
Yeah, I would say it's into the millions in this country alone. I mean, then
Oh,
you add in all
yes.
these other Western countries. Yeah, and it's just only getting worse. I mean, I don't know if there's ever going to be an end to this thing. I just hope that this thing runs its course, somehow naturally. And I don't think it's going to happen in my lifetime, but,
Well, you know
you
what you're
know,
really looking at, don't you, Dave? As much as I don't like to say this, you're probably looking at the self destruction, because if men and women can't never correct this, and it's only getting worse as we know it is, eventually it will be the downfall of society.
right.
Because there's no other
Yeah. I
direction
mean,
for it to go if you really think about it.
yeah. I mean, you go out in public now, it's already, I mean, people are so disconnected out there. You go to, well, any public place for that matter. And just, the women are just, they're in their own little worlds. They're on their phones. Even around my neighborhood where I live, it's nobody even wants to know their own neighbors anymore. Yeah, it's a pretty sad state of affairs.
It is, and I don't know. I mean, like in other countries, you got, like, Warren was talking about. Even in Japan, they've got a different tongue and they've came up with different names for the exact same problems we're talking about in other countries. And I do know that TFL went into Russia and over in
Hmm.
Ukraine, and there were some people doing TFL type videos over there. But of course, I couldn't understand them because they were speaking in their tongue. But it was
Right.
broke down for me a while back. Okay, so I know it's a topic that's, well, it's NWO. This is what people never really understood. That was never a conspiracy theory.
Hmm.
Okay? Conspiracy, yes. Theory, no. It's reality. It's factual.
Yep.
It's happening.
Yeah.
You know?
Sure is. It's been happening for a while. Hmm.
Yes. And I see Jeff Ashton is with us, and we got another guy here I don't really know who says he's TFL, and I appreciate him being here. And Off the Grid's with us as well. So I'll say a shout out to these guys, let them know we do see you. We know you're here. Okay. Now I don't know if Dave's looking at the chat or if he's just talking on his phone, but
Yeah. Right now I'm just on my phone, but yeah. Yeah. Hi Jeff. How you doing? Yeah, I got to get in touch with Jeff somehow. He's kind of reached out to me, and I'd like to get on one of his chats sometime. Yeah, I got to just figure out a way to kind of get him my contact information or something. Do you talk to him at all?
I've talked to Jeff. I have him in my email. What you'd want to do is you want to give Jeff your email. If you give him
Okay.
your email, then he can make contact, and through your email, he could actually bring you into a live stream. But I'm not sure how it's going to work because have you got a PC, a laptop, or a mic with a mic in it, or a computer with a mic? Or maybe you can do it
Yeah.
right
Just
on your smartphone as well.
right. Right.
I really can't say myself I don't have a smartphone. I have a dumb phone.
Yeah, I got yeah, I got an I that's kind of my guilty thing, I guess. I got an iPhone, you know. It's, I don't but I'm not one of these guys that I'm not one of these people that has it glued to my face all the time. So, just covering myself there, Bill.
Oh yeah, well, I know exactly what you're talking about. Today's society is so disconnected that way. You get friends that get together and all of them they're visiting each other on their phones. I mean,
Yeah.
you
I
see
know.
this going on everywhere. It ain't like it's one person, it's all over. Then you get the dumbness, people thinking they can text and drive, and you see this going on, and I mean, stupidity is stupidity, but the crux of the matter is the dating scene's not going to get any better anytime soon. And
Mhm.
it's finding solutions to make young men happy. Now, Jeff Ashton has just dropped his email in here for you, David. Okay. I can't guarantee, Jeff, that David will be able to access to get that email. I can send it to him out of my email because David's on his phone. But I could tell you this, I'll see to it that he gets your email one way or another. And you can say, well, it might be in the replay. Well, I don't count on that neither because my last live stream's replay, there's nothing wrong with the replay. All the settings are correct. And if somebody says it's a glitch, I logged completely out of YouTube, exited the browser, and left it that way for a couple hours. And then I went back, opened the browser up, re-logged back into my TFL at War, and went to the settings, and the settings are all correct. The replay for that live stream should be up and next to the video, and it's not. And I have undone it, undone it, redone. I've done everything possible to fix it, and it's not fixable, which suggests the live feed either had a glitch that caused it not to go, or the topic. And I got a feeling it was the topic because
Mm.
tomorrow I'm going to be up here live if things work out with when in doubt MGTOW. Okay, and if I'm up here live on this channel tomorrow when in doubt MGTOW, the topic is a topic that the people who've created this problem do not want. And I'll tell you
Mm.
why they don't want it. Because when in doubt MGTOW, like myself, wants to see the manosphere brought together. I'm totally on
Right.
board with him. I've said it to everybody out here that I want to see the manosphere brought together by the end of 2019, but I've also said I don't think it'll happen. But he's
Yeah.
also got a very valuable idea. Of course, it's going to take self work, but I think it's very, very important for TFLers and incels, which he wants to call Wincel, which I agree with him on. I think that's a good name for it. Instead of calling
Yeah, I do
yourself
like that. It's
incel, yeah.
pretty catchy.
I think instead of calling yourself incel, you should probably call yourself Wincel. Okay, but it's all going to be on your mindset. It's going to be on, do you want to stay stressed out for the rest of your life? Because I can't offer you a cure. Steve Hoka can't offer you a cure. Okay, there is no cure because this has been socially engineered. The only cure is through time and self-discipline on oneself and awareness and coming together. That is the only
Right.
cure. Because if we could come together on an individual basis and be aware of what's going on, once the numbers are big enough, we could rise up against the people that's done this to us and put it to a dead stop.
Yeah. I mean, knowledge is. They say knowledge is power, and the best thing men can do is educate themselves and get a grasp on what's going on. And I think if enough of us can do that, I think we can. It's an uphill battle for sure. But
Oh, it's a battle. It's going to be a war. But I know from doing what I've done, even to this day, the censorship on me is more than what it is and what people even think it is. I
yeah.
post a video up and I lose 3 or 4 subscribers because I posted a video.
Right. Right.
Okay. And then I go a week, 2 weeks to earn them back just to post a video to lose them again. This has been going on for years, and it's not that I'm losing them, it's because the powers to be have pushed me down because Dave was around when my first channel was up, and Dave witnessed what was going on. And so I'll let Dave tell you what he saw and what views I was getting himself because he was around and saw it.
Yeah, I mean, you were getting, thousands. I remember, and I was a subscriber to, all your channels that you had, and yeah, it was just one. It seemed like one channel after another was just being taken off, and you've lost countless, just countless videos
I
over the
have.
years.
I've lost hundreds
Yeah,
and hundreds of videos. But my main channel before YouTube, Google had ownership of it. At one point, for almost a year, year and a half, I was hitting 10,000 plus views a day for every video I uploaded.
wow, incredible.
Okay. And it was gigantic. And then when Google got their hands on it, I got attacked and I got pushed down. That channel was taken down with no strikes, by the way. I had
Yeah,
zero
was that?
I had 0 strikes. And I mean,
Yeah,
and what they struck me down for, put me out for, at the time was 3 months. You couldn't even log into your channel, right? They struck me
wow.
down for copyright violation. And the funny thing about it, at that time, I didn't edit videos or anything. They were all talking head videos. So it was just
Yeah,
me in a video talking to you, telling you what I see going on. And they struck that video down for copyright. And so I was like, really? So I have copyrighted myself. And
right.
within 2 weeks from the time they struck it down, my channel was taken down. And that was
Yeah,
my
yeah.
main channel. So yeah,
Yeah. Now, was that the first one? Was it Bill 122460? Was that the first
yes,
one?
yes, that was the very
Yeah.
first one.
Okay. All right.
See, a lot of people wasn't around to see that, and I'm highly, I've got a lot of respect for David. David's very aware of NWO. He's very aware of the social engineering that's going on in society, what's going on around him. And he's lived it, watched it, seen it, and he was around when my first channel was here, watching me as far back as then. So, David can tell you a lot. David probably remembers back then it was Steve Hoka and Dwayne Holloway.
Oh, absolutely. I remember Dwayne. Dwayne was he was actually pretty articulate. He's a good talker. It's yeah, I don't know what his current what he's doing nowadays, but but back when he was involved with it, he was putting out some pretty good material.
He did. Dwayne did some good stuff, and Dwayne was a very good talker. I mean, he was probably the best co-host I ever had for the TFL radio show.
Mm.
He did a really good
Yeah,
job.
I used to watch him quite. I used to look forward to seeing what he had to say every time he came on. But yeah, he was good. He really was.
Yes. I mean, it's sad the way things have gone, but the two people that's always stuck it out. Now, you get people criticizing Steve Hoka because he took down his videos and he left for 6 months and then come back. Okay.
Mm.
But Steve had a personal life, like all of us do.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Steve was under
Yeah.
stress just like the rest of us are. Okay.
Yeah.
And for people to criticize him for that, the only fault that Steve ever made was taking down his videos and criticizing somebody else for doing it. But Steve, just like myself, I had a hot temper. We both made mistakes along the way because we're both human beings.
Hmm.
Okay?
Right.
And that's really where it comes from. And people have to understand that.
Yeah.
So,
I know. Steve had his. He was running there for. Was he running for mayor of his the
he
town he
did.
lives in?
He ran for mayor of the
Yeah.
town he was in. And I mean, I applaud Steve
Yeah.
Hoka for what Steve Hoka did there. So many men went out and done what Steve Hoka's done. And Steve
Yeah.
Hoka's still here. See, so if you look at the reality from back in 2006 or 7 when I brought TFL up online, when I first come online with TFL, yeah, I was dunked, slammed, called names, blah blah blah, okay, but there was nobody but me. And Dwayne
Right.
wasn't even doing nothing. He was in the background talking to me, and nobody knew who he was. Then Steve Hoka
Mm.
came along and made a reply at me, and I answered Steve's reply. And as you see, up until this day, still the two people that are left fighting this is myself and Steve Hoka.
Yeah. No. No doubt. Steve's. pretty extraordinary guy, and kudos, my hats off to him. Just can't thank the guy enough for all he's done.
Yeah. So, and I see When in Doubt has came into this live stream. I appreciate that. I'm going to be talking to him when I'm done with this live stream. I got a time today. I want to talk to him, and I'm going to get things rolling working with him. And like I said a little earlier, I'm hoping tomorrow that When in Doubt will be up here live with me tomorrow, and we will do another one where you can get a chance to hear him and
Yeah, I'm looking forward to.
hear
Yeah,
what he's wanting to do that I stand by him with. And I'm going to help him with it as much as possible. And maybe we can work together. And what other men want to get involved in this, I would definitely encourage you to. And I think TFLers and Wincell, I think you all really need to listen to this man and listen to what he's telling you because it's going to help you. Okay, it really will. I think in the long run, it's going to help you. It's not going to be easy, but it's going to be a whole lot easier than living the life you've been living, being stressed out every day. And if we can bring the suicide rate down or we can help you, that's what this is about because we didn't cause the problem. I just know from what the message is and what happened with the last live stream, I did not take down the replay of the chat. That replay of the
mm,
chat, When in Doubt was in there, okay? That replay of that chat was not taken down or come up, and I got a feeling it's because of the topic. But I suspect there's going to be a rough road ahead for When in Doubt in this topic because they don't want what he's going to do. The powers to be
right.
do not want this. Guaranteed. Because it brings people together. It helps men who are suffering. They don't want that. Our
Yeah,
society is not
right.
about helping you. Look at the male bashing that's even still going on right in your face.
Yeah,
That's why I get
yeah, it is. It's
sarcastic. I do. I get sarcastic and say, well, when it's born a baby boy, why don't you just kill it? Now, I know that's
mm,
evil to say, but the reality is when you look at what's going on, think about the children. They're growing up
yeah,
watching a television set where the little girl or little boy are sitting next to each other watching TV, and the little girl's being receiving a message of how smart and beautiful and intelligent she is, and the boy's message is she's a complete dumbass.
yeah, yeah, yeah. You're absolutely right. You're spot on. It's they've just been doing that for so long. It's unbelievable. Mm,
Yes, exactly.
mm,
So, I would have loved to have seen Steve Hoka's live stream last night, but I wasn't up for it. Didn't know he was going to do it. And he does them sometimes really late. And I keep the schedule because I'm up with the rooster where I'm at because I take my son to work. So I'm up with the rooster like way early in the morning. And then sometimes with my health, I wind up not being able to sleep because of pain. You know how that goes.
right,
So
right.
I wind up in the middle of the night or way early in the morning anyhow. So normally I'm not up by the time Steve does these late live streams. So when Steve does them late like that, I'm
Mm,
most likely not going to be up. So it's one of them situations where I miss him. I really wished he would have left that up or
yeah,
archived it, you know what I'm saying, so I could have seen the replay of it, but he didn't, so I can't see that right now. But who knows? Maybe he'll decide to put it up. But I know this, the live stream
yeah,
before last, I really enjoyed that one. He was really good, spot on.
yeah. That was a good one. Yeah, he does good work.
He does, But there's going to be some hurdles. There's going to be some challenges. But you got to understand, my channel's still being pushed down. That's not going to change. I've lost
Yeah,
channels along the way. I've lost probably thousands or hundreds and hundreds of videos of my content's been removed from YouTube and not by me. Okay. And even my last live stream that I did, the replay I like to leave up so people can see what other people are saying that was there. But I have no choice in that. That replay is not up, not because of me, but because of some want to say it's a glitch. I don't think it's a glitch because it's no glitch that my subscriber list always gets removed and put back and removed and put back. You know, it's going to take me years, and I've been proven twice already that it's going to take me 6, 7, 8 years to get up to 2,000 2,500 subs because walk 2 foot forward, move 3 foot back, walk 2 foot forward, move 3 foot back. This is what they do to me on a regular basis. And then as soon
Yeah,
as
the
I
def
get it around that number, then they'll invent some reason just to rip my channel down, which is what they've already done. Even my last main channel is gone when I absolutely had no strikes on my channel whatsoever. They removed my channel.
they're nasty. They just they're definitely skewing your channel, Bill. And even things like view counts and some subscribers. And I see this with a lot of channels. They'll just the way they censor things and the way they screw with people. It's just awful.
You have a bunch of what you got is a bunch of order followers that are mindless. And I mean
Yeah,
mindless for the
yeah,
tool. They're paying them good,
right.
the tool. They're paying them a lot of the tool to listen to them, and they're just order followers. They don't care how
Yeah,
wrong it is. They don't care how much truth is there. They're going to attack the very thing that we're talking about. In reality, what they're doing is for the tool, they're helping to destroy and bring down their own country.
right. You got these people working for these tech companies like Google, and yeah, these are the people that are doing that, Bill.
Yes. And they are the people responsible for that. And it's sick. It is. But I don't see no end to it anytime soon. My channel's being pushed down regularly. And I got a feeling MGTOW, when in doubt over there, he's got the best idea I've heard in a long time that I really think is going to help a lot of people. And of course, we already know the powers to be don't want that. So I see another battle coming, is what I see. And he's
Right.
just got to stay strong. They push him down. He's going to get back up and open another one and just keep right on moving. Just be that bad penny that keeps returning, because that's the only thing we can do. And hopefully, we can get the manosphere brought together. you know.
Yeah.
And I don't think it's going to be easy to do because there's so many men out there that, I mean, right now, held by the dashboard lights off the rocker, so, and I'm sad by that because the guy has said a lot of good stuff, but the guy's definitely
Hmm.
directed his anger the wrong direction.
Right. Yeah, I really haven't been following him much, so I don't really know too much about him. But
Well, I can't handle watching his stuff anymore because he's too far gone. I mean, his anger is misplaced totally. And even though he has said a lot of good stuff over the years, you know, his anger's misplaced and he's attacking the wrong people. He has a right to be angry. I mean,
hmm
you don't think David here wasn't angry at one time and bitter? I'm sure David went through his spell of being angry and bitter and hateful because of what's going on. But he's
yeah,
lived it
it
for
was
so long now that, he's gotten stronger.
right. It comes a time for you get the worst of it behind you, and once I realized what was going on, that's when I was able to kind of when I was able to overcome this and not let it bother me. Because I just don't even let it bother me. That doesn't mean I think it's right, but I just I don't dwell on it or beat myself up over it, and I don't recommend anybody to do that.
No, I wouldn't want to see anybody do that myself. I don't think, it's not gonna help you any. You know, I can understand it though because it is really a hard topic. You people been socially engineered so bad and they don't even know it. And so what they
Right.
considering normal behavior really isn't normal behavior. Okay? And they don't want to think about it for what it really is and their behavior, just like with the porn industry. It was used as a tool to help break down morals and destroy society. And I've
Yeah.
got nothing against people wanting sex or having sex. It's not about wanting sex or having sex. It's about they took what should be last between a man and a woman and put it at the front of the line and then made it so priority that that became your new love.
Yeah. And that is it. It's nothing really sickens me more online than how widespread porn is, and it's just free for anybody to just go on and look at, you know.
It is, you know, you
And
can imagine how
it's so
many.
accessible,
It is.
and it's like yeah, it's just unlimited too. There's just unlimited all these unlimited like porn sites out there, and it's free, and anybody can watch it. You know, and it's I just can't believe how accessible it is. I mean, you know, years ago you'd go into a any store, and the section where they sell you know, the Playboy magazines, they would actually be covered.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
And here we are now, and they, you know, you got kids just going online watching all the porn they want, you know, absolutely free, like it's a, you know, like as if it's a cartoon or something.
Oh, definitely, definitely. This is what you got going on. And so children are growing up to be able to access free porn. And then it's a double edged sword because if you have a child and your child has their own laptop and you buy it for Christmas or whatever for them, let's say they're 9, 10 years old, you get them their own laptop. They're sitting in their bedroom and they're watching porn when their parents ain't looking, right? Well, did you know if
Hmm.
Child Protective Services or law enforcement comes to the door and they check your child's computer and it has pornography on it because they've been watching free porn online behind the parents' back, the parents are going to be in trouble and the parents are going to go to jail and the state's going to take the kids and the trouble just goes on and on. So see, it's deliberately set up. It's a double-edged sword. Okay?
Yeah.
And not only that, it's destroying the kid because the kid grows up thinking sex is love.
Right.
And then so this is what they
Yeah.
chase. You know, and
Yeah.
sex isn't love.
Yeah. I wish they would really take that porn down, take that porn offline. It's like that. It is. It's just one of the biggest mind destroyers out there. You know,
That's why it's
it's
there.
terrible.
That's why it's there. That's why it's all over the internet. It's been used as a tool by the powers to be to destroy us. Okay, it's
Yeah.
just one of the many weapons they've pulled out of their arsenal. Okay, that they've used against us. So you know, it's not going to be easy. But the thing is I feel for men who like Hell by the Dashboard Light or so many hardcore TFLers that are constantly depressed and hurting. You know, and even Warren's TFL, he's in his upper 30s. You know, and now
Hmm.
Warren talks about his robomate.
Right.
He thinks his robomate's going to be better for him because at least, you know, and it's sad that it's had to come to a point where men are going to be looking forward to a robot, a sex doll, you know, a robomate, because it's the only companionship they can perceivably get, you know. And it's sad that it's come that far, but you know, that's why I tried to tell people, you know, your happiness isn't going to come from having somebody in your life anyhow. Because the reality is, your happiness has to come from yourself.
Right. That's first and foremost. You know, and chances are you get married. You know, if you get married these days, chances are you're gonna end up divorced. And if you're the guy, you know, you get divorced, you're just gonna end up revenue in a courtroom.
Well, you're everywhere in a courtroom, plus the fact that people ain't understanding how people are treating each other. You get into a relationship when you're with somebody, and that somebody starts treating you lower than a piece of dirt on the ground. And they continue to do
Mm-hmm.
this behavior over and over, treating you lower than dirt on the ground. And now your relationship becomes miserable, you know,
Yeah.
and awful, and you don't even want to be in it anymore. You'd rather be alone, you
Yeah.
know, and
I mean, I look at
this is where it goes.
right. I
Hey,
look
Bill,
around.
Dave, just wanted to let you know that I'm in here.
Hey, there he
How's this,
is.
Jeff?
There he is. Hello, Jeff.
Hey, Jeff, how you doing?
Hey, yeah, I mean, one of the things a lot of people don't realize is that relationships are not always good, and if you are lucky enough to find a relationship, it could ruin your life.
Yeah, it's I got a lot of friends. Yeah, it's done a number on their lives. A good friend of mine, I never thought he'd get divorced. He was married for 10 years, had a couple kids, and turned out she was actually a lesbian, and she left him for another woman. and
Yeah,
and
yeah,
that was a total shocker for me. I was when I found that out.
yeah, that really happens. I remember I even have somebody in my family who he it's it's a relative, and he was married to one of my relatives, great cousin, so to say. But anyway, in the 80s, this guy had in my family had he had 3 kids, and he looked to be happily married, and then one day he was wearing a red dress, and he came out of the closet in like 1979, and he was happily married with 3 kids. I mean, these things definitely happen,
Right. Yeah.
and you just never really know what's in people's heads. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Well,
I know
people
it.
people have a tendency of not being honest with each other. I mean, that's our society nowadays. Everybody wants to scream. They don't want to be lied to. Everybody says, I want the truth. But when you tell them the truth, they don't want that either.
Yeah, I mean, if you looked at the guy, you'd say the guy's happily married, and the guy's got 3 kids, and everything's wonderful. And then just one day, 1979, homeboy's out of the closet, and he's wearing a red dress. Like, what the fuck?
Wow.
just like out of just like out of nowhere. Like what the fuck? So yeah, people definitely live phony lives.
Yeah, unbelievable.
Yeah, I mean, everybody. I think every family has got somebody in their family that is like that, or
Right.
or
I think I'm pretty much content with where I'm at right now. I mean, I'm very very blessed to be in a position where I can actually be retire. I'm going to be retiring from my job in about just about 7 more months. And I thank God thank no just that's well yeah by choice actually. I'm fortunate to have a job that still has a regular traditional pension plan. And I've been yeah. I've been
guys,
there for, I've been, what are you saying, Jeff?
one thing I always think about is, like, a lot of times in my life, I'm a 38, and I've made some really good progress over maybe like a 3-year period, like here and there. But a lot of the times when I make the most progress in my life, it is when I'm single.
Right.
And it seems like when I get with a woman, it's more like a drain. Like, it'll drain my resources, and it will drain my motivation.
Uh-huh.
And so pretty much all the times that I can say in my life where I've actually made progress towards achieving some goal has pretty much been when I was single.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean it's been easy for me because I mean especially the last the best years of my the best social social years I had with women were from the age of 25 to 35. So in the last 14 years have been this really hasn't been anything. So I mean I've definitely had plenty of time to get my finances in order and everything like that. And I'm like I said, I'm going to be fortunate enough to be retiring soon, and excited about it, a little nervous about it too. I mean, I'm still kind of young, I don't know if I'm going to retire completely from work altogether, but I might just go out and get some part-time job down the road. We'll see what happens. But
I wonder if, like, once you retire, maybe women will see that, and maybe they'll try to, like, jump on it to try to leech money out of you. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, it could happen. I mean, it. I've already had a couple of like my dad's girlfriend was asking me about it, and she's kind of hinting me that there's a woman she knows, that she can hook me up with, and it's like, oh, look at him, he's a good catch, that sort of thing. So you got to kind of watch it, and
yeah, he's got a big bank account. He's been living in TFL for 30 years. He's got a nest egg.
They're not going to care they live TFL. They'll smirk that off. What they'll care about is his damn bank account.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that's you don't want a gold digger. That's phony. That's just fake love right there. That's all that is.
Yeah, but Bill, that's what I realized is if like I have a friend that lived in his car for almost a year, and he accumulated so much money because he like kept working in his job, making $50,000 a year while living in his car. And I mean, he saved up like $20,000 or $30,000 cash, and he was
Nice.
like investing by living in his car. And now that he's been doing that for like a year, he's starting to get attention from women because I don't know if he tells them his bank account, but maybe his confidence or something. But yeah, it's like if sometimes I just think about like,
hopefully he's not telling him his bank account, Jeff, because that would be his downfall. Because then people are notorious for telling people what they want to hear.
Yeah, I think he is telling them his bank account because he kind of has to like justify because like he'll meet them and then they'll find out that he lives in his car and then they freak out sort of, and then to like justify living in his car, he says, well, look, I don't have to pay rent and my bank account goes up, $1,500 every month, and that's just all savings. And so I think he does tell them to like justify like the fact that he lives in his car. He like justifies it with his bank balance. Yeah.
Well, yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, if he is doing that, he's setting himself up for his own demise because he's either going to be smart enough to reject them, like they've done to him for years, or they're going to siphon him out of his money.
Yeah, and I think I think that's what's happening is there's these girls are saying to themselves that oh wow, he's got 30,000 cash in the bank, or we could really have a good life together, or we could get started here and I could milk his ass. And I hope that what doesn't happen is that he moves in with the girls, he drains his ass for a year, he's down to 3,000, and then she dumps him, and all that savings and all that suffering he did living in his car to build up the bank balance is just nullified. I hope that doesn't happen.
That's the nightmare reality there.
Yeah, he shouldn't advertise how much money he has or how much money he makes to any woman. Really, I never do that. I just tell them if any woman asks what I do, I just tell them what I do, and that's about it. That's about as far as it goes.
Yeah, if they say, are you white collar or blue collar, tell them, I'm not neither one of them. I'm my own collar.
But like you guys understand, he kind of tells them like after he lives as kind of like a justification for it.
Right. Yeah. I can kind of understand that too. Some guys feel like they have to, kind of prove themselves, because they feel like there's just nothing, no other way to, get a woman's attention nowadays.
Yeah. One thing I've really been noticing is, one of the changes over the past 10 or 20 years is that it just seems like there's so many women now that want to have careers.
Yeah.
And
yeah, you get just a ton of women out there that are. I think we got more women in colleges than we do men, and
you do.
Women. And women women are the ones out there right now, despite what the media says, women are the ones making the money, and
Yeah,
they just seem to have the cushy jobs, you know.
yeah, it's just crazy. Like they complain, like they'll find like one little sector, like maybe computer programming or engineering, and then they'll just zero in on that one little sector and say, "Oh, women are oppressed in this sector," but they never talk about how men are oppressed in like nursing or any other field. It's just like they just pick and choose
Right.
where they're
Get,
oppressed.
yeah. Kind of getting back to your friend there. What part of the country does your friend live in? That's living in this car.
California, so he's in a good
Okay.
temperature environment to where
Yeah. Yeah.
that's not so devastating.
Yeah, you don't want to be up in New England here because I live in New England. I live in Massachusetts, so you don't want to be around here when, especially like in the winter time, living in your car.
No, that'd be like that would be like living in your car in Minnesota or Iowa. Good luck
Oh,
on
yeah,
that.
Minnesota's even
Yeah,
worse.
it's like good luck on that one.
Yeah, he's in California, so that's if you're gonna live in your car, I think that's probably like the best place to do
Yeah,
it.
exactly.
And I mean he's just like I'm not gonna pay $1,500 for a 1-bedroom apartment in California.
Yeah,
It's like
it's
he's just like
crazy out
I'm
there.
not. He's like I'm not gonna do it. He's like I
Yeah.
just refuse. I'm
There's
not doing
people
that
out
shit.
there's people out in California, San Francisco, LA that are they're working full time. They're making pretty good money. And they can't even afford a 1-bedroom apartment. They can't even afford to live in a rooming house. To live in a little 8-foot by 10-foot bedroom, and share a bathroom with 3 other people.
Yeah, I mean the thing is where he is, a efficiency is like 1,500.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, not even not even a 1-bedroom in efficiency.
Yeah. I mean, if you're lucky, you might be living in a small RV. I mean, those seem like those seem like the lucky ones that are living in like a,
I'd be afraid.
Yeah.
I'd be afraid of you're living in a small RV, and where are you gonna park it? Pretty soon, people complain you're parking blah blah blah, and you don't live there. So then you get run out of that area, and if you go to a spot where you can rent a spot to park your RV and hook up to sewage and shit, I got a feeling
that's big money.
that's gonna
Yeah.
skyrocket to where, well, I'm my own RV, and I still spend
Yeah.
$1,500 a month to plug into this plug.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, my dad. Yeah. But my dad has a travel trailer, and it's big money to just go to these campsites and hook up. You'd be surprised.
Yeah, but my friend, he actually lives in like a I think it's like a small Toyota, but he sort of like built it out. And yeah, parking is one of like the major issues for him. He sort of moves a lot to like different parking spaces and
yeah, he's got to do, if you're going to do that, you got to kind of just kind of move around somewhat, actually pretty frequently, I would say.
Yeah, but he's found some good spots like at the beach that have like outside showers and stuff. And
oh yeah, that's good.
Yeah, I mean from like what he's told me, living in your car like overall fucking sucks, and I wouldn't do it unless you're in like a specific climate, like the right atmosphere, like he is in California.
Right, for sure. Yeah, you don't want to be someplace cold. Living in your car. That would be that would be no fun. Yeah.
But I mean, I do recommend it if you want to save up money.
Yeah,
because
it does sound actually feasible. I mean, if you think about it, if you have like a like a van, like a van where you can throw a mattress in the back or something like that, and just do that for a little while. And if you have like showers nearby, shower facilities you can use, and and yeah, I mean, I've seen people do it.
Yeah, and I mean he's saving about $1,500 every month. His like bank account balance is going up by $1,500 every month, and it's like he's like, this is awesome. And I mean, like the reason he did it was because he was like, well, shit, I'm TFL. I can't get a girl anyway. So like all this motivation to have a house or a place to live to like impress some bitch, that's not working anyway. It's like, I might as well save money. That,
right.
that was his reasoning. It's like, and I mean, I agree with him. I mean, so many people get these houses. It's like I see single guys living in 3 or 4 bedroom houses by themselves just in the hopes to try to impress a female and like get her to move in. And it's like, they like never find one. And it's like, why are you air conditioning a 4 bedroom house when you're living in there by yourself? It's just crazy.
Yeah, no, that's I mean, I'm gonna be, I live in a 2 bedroom condo, and I mean, this is good enough for me, but I'm gonna be looking to sell this place pretty soon, and I'm thinking about moving out of state. I kind of want to get out of Massachusetts, and I don't need anything big. I mean, so a 2 bedroom is big enough for me. Just a 2 bedroom, 1,200 square feet. My own garage. That's all I need. That's kind of what I'm looking to get. I kind of want to get out of the condo thing.
Yeah.
But,
Yeah. My thing is, I just want to like, the thing I don't like I would move into an efficiency, but I like to have a garden. So that's the only thing that like pushes me away from a efficiency, is I really like to have a garden in the backyard.
Nothing wrong with that. And I see start growing.
Like I'm thinking about buying like an acre of land in the middle of nowhere one day.
And
I don't know if I'll put a mobile home or just some type of house, maybe like a little tiny house one day.
Yeah.
Well, it's one of them situations to where if you can find a way to make yourself happy and not have to go through the shit of what society's putting people through, you're better off.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I kind of I have like an escapist mentality maybe, where I just don't want to be, like I see some people that live in like New York and they just work 12 hours a day and they pay $3,000 a month for rent. And it's just like, I don't want that lifestyle.
Yeah, that's just a total slave, a total slave lifestyle. That's I see a lot of that, around where I am too. I'm just outside Boston, and people working they're just working 12 hours a day, like you said, and they're paying $3,000 a month for, some of these places are just astronomical. It's just crazy, 3,000 plus a month for like a 2 bedroom apartment somewhere. And they're just existing. They're just existing to work and pay, and pay a landlord, and that's it.
Yeah, you're paying all that money so you can live in like a big city, to have access to all these like city women that, when in reality, it's like these city women don't give a fuck about you. And the women in the country are actually more receptive than the ones in the city that you want to be around. It's just crazy why somebody would pay $3,000 a month for an efficiency to live in and make. Geez, I'm sounding like Hell by the Dashboard Light, which I really don't like him that much, but he's really got a point there, in that you really don't want, like, say you're making $100,000, it's just not worth it if you're paying $3,000 a month for an efficiency in the middle of some downtown location with a bunch of bitches that are indoctrinated and social conditioned to hate you. It's like, why not just move out to the country and make $30,000 as a teacher, and enjoy your life?
Yeah, I mean the city. The women in the city is they're cold. I mean, it's just they just walk around. They're into their phones, and that's pretty much it. There's no you try if you try, God forbid, you try to talk to one of them. I mean, they'll end up just you might have the police or something called on you. And that's basically the situation for men, and but,
Yeah, I mean, I really hate to say it, but I think the only hope left is like either country girls in like small towns or foreign girls from like foreign countries. But as
yeah,
far as like the normal American girl that lives in a city, it just seems like there's no sincerity. They don't want kids.
yeah,
I mean, they pretty much taken themselves out of what most men are looking for. If they don't want to have kids, I mean, if all your option is, if all your options are whittled down to a girl that just wants to have some career and she wants to be a boss baller with some great career and like not have kids, it's like, well, I mean, that's not what I'm looking for. I mean, I feel like, most guys want to have kids and they want to have a loyal woman and have a family. And I don't want some corporate bitch. I don't want that CEO of Facebook. I don't want her to be my wife. No kids.
Yeah.
No grandkids. Just we got lots of money, and to me it just, I don't know.
Right. I've always kind of done better myself in the smaller, the smaller towns, and they just seems to have a more friendly atmosphere. It's
Bill,
just very.
Bill, are you from a small town, Bill? Like,
I live in a small town that don't even got a stoplight.
Oh, awesome.
Okay.
So do you agree with what I'm saying about the like city women, or does it?
Well, unfortunately, I've lived in small towns off and on because I tried that myself. You'll find out that the demeanor, the way people are acting, is even in the small town.
Okay, so they're influenced as well by the TV.
When it comes to the dating and stuff, I'm sorry, a small town's not your answer. A small town's your answer if you don't want the cluster. You don't want to be in a big area. You don't want to take 40 minutes to get to work and traffic and jams and blah, blah, blah. Okay, you don't want all the... I mean, it's nice and quiet where I live. People are nice to each other. Okay, so it's a better atmosphere that way. But as far as the dating scene goes, it's every bit as corrupt as the big city is.
Yeah.
Okay, so they're all watching the same TV shows. They're all sort of have the same mentality.
It didn't miss anybody. How would it? I mean, the television set was one of the #1 tools that's been used for social engineering for so long. Okay, it's not going to miss anybody. The social engineering, I mean, think about it, reality. TV, magazines, major newspapers, your school system. I mean, it don't matter where you're going to run to, you're going to run right into it.
Yeah, it's so crazy when I see these shows, and sometimes I see my girlfriend watching them, and it's like I kind of get scared when she's like watching those shows, because it's like I see that these shows like Desperate Housewives and these shows where they have these women that are just done up in their nails, and they have these rich husbands, and like the women don't do anything except just party all day every day, and then then it's almost like, okay, my girlfriend's gonna watch these shows, and then she's gonna look at me and be like, oh, you're a fucking piece of shit slave scum. Why don't I have this lifestyle that I'm seeing on the TV? And to me, I can just see so clearly that it's just, the whole purpose of it is just to divide the sexes.
Well, Jeff, this has already happened. And the sad thing about it is if she decides to go that route, it'll most likely be just as you said, based on that. But unfortunately, by the time you know it, she'll have already be hooked up with somebody else behind your back.
Yeah, well, luckily she doesn't really have the option, because I mean, but the show puts it in her head that that's what she deserves. But then the reality does set in that she's not 20 years old like these girls, or 30 years old, or a supermodel like these girls that have these millionaire guys. So there is some reality that sets in and kind of prevents it, but there's still that underlying thing that I see on the shows that does have some effect, I think.
Yeah,
And
those shows are such a phony facade too. I mean, the Real Housewives of like Desperate Housewives and Real Housewives of Malibu Beach and all those things. They're and these women they watch these shows and they want to be what they see on television. It's
yeah, and I mean the whole show is just 10 hours a day. These girls they don't have to work. They get to live in mansions. They get their nails done, hair done, spray on tan, personal trainer. Just everything's just catered to them. It's just a wonderful life where they don't have to work. They don't have to do anything. They go to parties all day, every day. Every show is like a new party, a new social event. They're social. It's just like the dream life.
Yeah,
they present it as if that's normal, but it's like life doesn't really work that way for the majority of people.
Yeah.
It's like not everybody can just party all day and have servants do their nails. 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, living in a fucking mansion. It's crazy.
Yeah, it's just so delusional. No, like that those shows. That's all it is. It's not reality. Those shows are not. Those aren't reality shows. They're all scripted and that's all they're designed to do is corrupt. In those shows target women and they know that. They're just designed to corrupt the minds of women that are watching this, and it's working. I've even had a friend of mine. His wife left them because she was watching shows like that and she wants to be what she sees on TV, and a lot of good it did her, and
I mean, it's even sad for them because they're not going to find that. I mean, there's only so many guys that can put them into a mansion and have servants serve them all day, 12 hours a day when they're 45 years old and not very hot.
And that's not love anyhow. That's the love of your own selfishness, your own want.
Yeah. Yeah, and the thing is, most guys are just looking for a friend or somebody they can relate to and talk to, and of course have sex with once in a while, and just enjoy being with. And but I sort of feel like girls aren't really looking for that. Like they're not really looking for somebody they can talk to. It's almost like they kind of like it seems like women view men as kind of stupid and just like kind of like a tool to be used.
Hasn't the television set done a really good job of teaching them that?
Yes, it really has.
That's where that comes from. So what you're observing there is from social engineering. So yeah, the women are acting just like that. And then of course the simps and the white knights, they're just as guilty for causing the women act this way because they go along with it. All of a sudden, because they think their validation to be a man is yet to have a woman. Happiness comes because you have a woman. No, it don't. That's an illusion. Happiness starts from within yourself. It doesn't start from having a female in your life. And then, the female could make you could be very happy with a female, she could be very happy herself, or you can be absolutely miserable.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of miserable guys that have women in their life, and it's kind of like the grass is always greener. It's like even my life, like whenever I have not had a girl, I'm like saying to myself, oh, I wish I had a girl, I wish I had a girl, I wish I had a girl. And then I get one, and then I'm like, I wish I was single, I wish I was single. I could save so much money, I could have so much free time. And it's like, when I'm with a girl, I want to be single. When I don't have a girl, I want a girl.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Because it's just never what you envision it to be, I guess. Like you always envision it's going to be so great, but then the reality sets in. I guess the first 3 months is always wonderful. no matter what. The first 3 months, everybody's on their like best behavior, and it's like wonderful. The first 3 months is always wonderful. I'll tell you that. So maybe the solution is if you do get a girl, keep her for 3 months, dump her, and then find a new one. Keep her for 3 months and dump her.
Yeah.
But that's not reality, because
No.
it takes me 5 years to find one. So that's obviously not going to work.
Yep, that's right. It took you 5 years, and it took her 1 week.
Yeah.
And that was after
Yeah.
she got. Then that's after she got through taking her pick of all the guys she had to choose from.
Yes, exactly.
More like 5 minutes, Bill.
Well, yeah, I was trying to be realistic. I didn't want to drop big reality in their face too hard on them.
I mean that's why there's like no homeless women or like very few, because she can always just find a guy to just take her in.
There are homeless women. That's no lie. Okay, but you find out the majority of the women that are actually down and out and homeless. There's a really good reason for it. They're done off their fucking rocker.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but
homeless.
But you got guys that are homeless that are completely normal.
Yeah.
It's because they don't have somebody to just take them in. It's like they can't just snap their fingers and some guy will just take me in. Like, I mean, if a woman's homeless, she's actually crazy. She's actually mentally ill. But if a man's homeless, he might be completely sane. He might have just lost his job and all you have to do to become homeless is just, have some bad luck and not have any friends, any real friends.
Yeah, you could be.
Which in our society, it's real hard to have real friends.
Jeff, you could be on a job for 40 years, the only career you ever knew, and the company closed down like what happened with General Electric, and moved overseas and let you go. And then you had the recession a while back. Remember the tent city up there in California? Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. And people couldn't get a job. Now you're middle aged, and what jobs are out there are being snagged up by the young people, and you're middle aged, because the older you get, the harder it can be to find a job depending on the area you're in. Well, if you have a mortgage and you have payments going out and company closed up and left you freaking without an income, it wouldn't take long to whittle through the money you have put up, and pretty soon it's either you have a job or you find yourself homeless.
Yeah, a lot of people out there just living paycheck to paycheck anyway. So, like Bill said, you lose your job, you get laid off, and believe me, they'll waste no time, foreclosing on your house and kicking you out on the street, these days.
No. Yeah, but if you're a girl and I happen to see you, you just choose a guy one attractive points less than you're normally accustomed to, and you move into a brand new 3-bedroom house and you stay with him for a year while you reorganize your life, and then you dump his ass, and then you just go back to normalcy. No big deal. Right.
Yeah, I mean, there's no doubt that women. I mean, men are the majority as far as the homeless goes, and
they are.
Yeah, because in where I don't really see. I see every here and there sporadically. I see some homeless women, but it's kind of few and far between.
Yeah, well, if you want to go with Dave's words, we could add to the men are the majority. Men are the majority of the majority that don't have nobody in their life. Men are the majority of the homeless.
Yeah.
And when it comes to the medical industry, if you're a man and you get breast cancer, which men can, and you don't have no refunds or funds to cover for any kind of treatment or anything, you don't qualify for any because you're a man. But if you're a woman, you automatically qualify. Government will pick up the tab for you.
Yeah, that's true.
People don't stop and think about the double standards and what society's been set up. It's no different than the man can never be a victim of domestic violence. So what if she smashed you across the shoulder and broke your collarbone with a hammer? You're not the victim of domestic violence.
Mm. I'll give you a good example of that, though. We just had an incident where I work. A female supervisor physically assaulted a male coworker, and she got away with just a 3-day suspension. And about a year ago, we had a male coworker. Um, he didn't assault her. He just called a female coworker a bad name. He ended up getting fired. He ended up losing his job permanently. She physically assaults somebody. Yeah, she physically assaults somebody and gets 3 days off. You know.
There's your double standard right in your face.
Yeah. Oh yeah. That's another reason why I can't wait to get out of this place where I'm working at. Just the double standards.
Well,
It's everywhere.
unfortunately, it ain't gonna matter where you work. The double standards are across the country. Don't matter where you
Right.
work. Okay, the woman
Yep.
has the power over you, and there's nothing you're gonna be able to do about it because it's been socially engineered that way. And the woman's gonna deny it. And she's gonna play dumb, and she's gonna say she don't see it. Meanwhile, she knows
Yep.
it.
Yep. And she was actually caught on video assaulting this guy. She, with witnesses. I actually witnessed it. I was one of the witnesses. And yeah, it's unbelievable. They still actually gave the guy that she assaulted, a day off. Just because he got mad and he punched the wall. Because he just got assaulted. He didn't do any damage or anything like that.
Well, yeah, but
But
see, he's
they
not
still
allowed to be a victim.
right.
He's
They still
adorable,
suspend.
Yeah.
Yeah, they still suspend, making it look like he was like he did something wrong.
Well, they want to make it look like he's the perpetrator, that he caused her to hit him. That's what that's
right.
about. They're wanting to make it look
Yeah.
that way. So even if he'd done nothing at all and she just outrightly, for no reason at all, hits him, he's still going to be, in the end, he's going to be the perpetrator because that's what they want.
Right.
Even if he's not, this is our double
Yep.
standards in society right in your face playing out.
Absolutely. And all these companies, they have to adapt the same policies.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's terrible.
It is. Well, David, I definitely appreciated you being up here. And Jeff, I'll send him over your email, okay? Unless you want to give it to him now. But I don't know if you already put it in the chat, but he's not in the chat. So if Dave's got something to write with, you can give him your email before he goes off. And he can get a hold of you that way.
Send it to him, Bill. I really want to interview him about his life, like what happened early in his life and what it was like in middle school and high school and how he became TFL and what it's been like and what advice he would have for other people living TFL and how to be happy in their life. And I'd like to talk to Dave and interview him. Just do like a regular interview and have him talk about what it's been like in this world.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it'd be fine, Jeff. We can do that.
Yep. Well, I'll see to it, and I'll get him an email over to you. Okay. And
okay.
That way he's got your email so he can make contact with you. And I definitely appreciate you being here today, Dave. And thank you for jumping in there, Jeff. And I'm sorry about the glitch there, guys. I didn't even catch it myself until somebody wrote it in the chat. You guys' phone numbers was showing up in the boxes. I changed the setting and took them away, but of course now I got the little squigglies across the screen because I've done it in a live stream. Okay, so the next time I do another live stream, hopefully tomorrow with you and out before I even go live, I'll be double checking that to make sure the settings are what they're supposed to be, and so that don't happen again. This live stream is going to go on private until it's available, and I'm going to download it and I'm going to edit it so the numbers are gone, and then I'm going to upload it back onto YouTube.
All right. Sounds good, Bill.
Cool. I mean, it's not a big deal if my number shows up. It doesn't matter that much, but
yeah, well, if your phone
it.
numbers show up, I mean, it's respect because your phone numbers can be tracked back to you, so
yeah,
so it's just for the public's eyes. So I'm gonna go ahead and push this on private so that when it does go up, nobody sees it. Then I'll download it and I'll edit that out and then I'll put it back up. But I did change the setting once I seen that. I went in and changed the setting, And of course, your phone number's disappeared behind me doing that. uh, and of course, I don't like it when I change settings in a live feed. It always screws with the actual what people are seeing. But I didn't care at that point once I noticed that, and I'm glad they brought it to my attention. So I'm going to double check that from now on and make sure that setting don't change itself back, because every now and again the program will change the settings on its own, and if you don't catch it, you got to go back and put it back where you had it. So,
Yeah. All right.
but with that being said, I'm
Oh,
gonna get
all right.
on out of here, and I appreciate it, guys.
All right, Bill.
All right, Bill.
Thanks for having me on. Okay.
Yep.
All right. Now
All right.
take care, Jeff. Okay.
Okay,
You too, Dave.
okay, later, guys.
Have a good evening, guys.
Yep.